everybody, welcome back to another episode of Try New Things. For today, we're messing around behind the greenhouse. Now the reason we're back here is I want to build a compost bin. Now I already have a compost bin out here behind the greenhouse, but this thing is absolutely full already. Oh! As you can see, and it's time to empty it, but that can only handle so much volume. And I've started to build back here by the fence a pile of compost. Now what I would like to do is a more formal way, an organized way to compost on a larger scale than that little tub. That little tub's good for scraps from the greenhouse. But as we do more yard work here, more gardening, I'm going to have to take it to the next level. So over here, there's my pile. Next to it, I started driving some stakes to start building a compost bin. And picking this location with these three large trees has made it an absolute nightmare to find spots where I'm not hitting great big roots. But I've got the back done, and I was going to put my panel in, and then we'll put some additional posts towards where I'm standing right now to support the sides. But because I got a 5-foot bucket on the tractor, I'm building this 6 feet wide, so in theory I can drive in and scoop the compost with the tractor. But anyway, that's what we're working on today. Stay tuned. Now laying out here on the driveway is that panel. It may not show up where it's gray on the gravel, but essentially what we have is a 16-foot by 4-foot sheep and goat panel, which has like 4-inch by 4-inch squares. It's pretty heavy duty. My challenge is, how am I going to crimp 2 corners? So here is the setup for crimping the 2 corners. Now, is it the best way to do it? Is it the right way to do it? I actually have no friggin' idea, but it's the first idea I came up with. So my approach today is spend less time thinking, more time trying. So we're going to give this a shot. Well, it definitely crimped it a bit. We'll have to find out if it crimped it enough to make 2 90-degree turns. So we managed to get the last two posts strapped on. Now I'm going to try to wrap this corner around that first post. The idea is once that's in place, we can drive the last post on the sides once I know where the end's going to be. There it is, the old compost pile and the new compost bin. Now I wish it was on level ground, but level ground is something that we don't have much of here on the TNT farm. But once we start making compost, it'll level itself off out there. The next test will be taking that compost with the bucket and dumping it inside of the new pen. As long as I can get in there, then I should be able to get in there to get it out later on. So let's get the tractor fired back up. Let's put this little bit into its new home, and then we'll wrap up the video. The old mulch pile is now gone and moved into its new pen. Unfortunately, I made it wide enough that I can drive in there comfortably with the bucket and load or dump, in this case dumping. So there's the old mulch pile put into its new pen. Let's go around to the sides and see how that 4x4 spacing is working out. Here it is at the back, and it seems to be working out quite well. It's not perfectly square, not perfect, not level, but it's working just fine. And fortunately, when I do the work, the owner of this property is quite easy to please. All right, ladies and mostly gentlemen, that's going to wrap up another project here on the farm, another video and another weekend, where today we built a 5-foot by 6-foot compost bin out of a 4 by 16 cattle kennel. Well, specifically sheep and goat. And I think that has to do with the spacing of the squares. In this case, a little bit tighter at 4 inches by 4 inches. But it helped us to clean up the yard in our old compost pile that we had started. And I believe this is going to work out tremendously well. We're going to be able to make compost on a greater scale than we did in that little drum. We'll still use that for the scraps from the greenhouse. But in a couple years, hopefully we will be scooping out with the tractor some beautiful, beautiful compost. But anyway, if you have any questions or comments about this episode or anything at all, leave them below. Don't forget to hit subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And until the next video, bye-bye.